Hello guys and welcome to another video on GJ Vlogs. Today I'm going to be reviewing Now 100 Hits, 90s number ones. This album was released just yesterday and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing it. I'll review the cover, review the disc artwork and also check out the track list. So first of all, I'll review the cover. I really like this cover. As I said in my video in which I showed off the cover when Now Music released it and gave my opinions, I liked it then and I still love it now. You've got stage lights in the background, you've also got like some blue and grey colours and some black colours in the background which do look very nice. It looks like there's actually where the title is kind of sat on top of like a stereo speaker, I think. This kind of looks like it's been built onto a floor. I do quite like that. It kind of represents the kind of dance theme that 90s music has and I definitely like that. It looks really good. The text is in the middle, of course. Now 100 Hits, 90s number ones. I like the font they've kind of used. Of course it's the same font that they usually use, but I still like this, and especially the colour they've used. Instead of like doing it in a different colour, they've actually chosen blue and they've kept the text to all be in blue, but the only difference is 100 where it says 100 hits, the actual background bit is in grey. But I do like this. Down the bottom it says number ones, which is kind of in the same font they use with Now 100 Hits 80s number ones, but what they've done is they've used the font where it looks like it's been just like squiggled on in like a pen, which I do quite like. They did this with the last number ones album we had, which was Now 100 Hits 80s number ones. They've done it with this one. It looks very nice. And of course at the top it says 5 discs, which means we'll get 5 CDs in this album. Now let's have a look at the CD artwork. So first of all, disc 1. This here is disc 1. I really like it. I like the grey background that they've used and the text at the top. It says Now 100 Hits 90s number ones. Again, they've kept the same font where it says number ones. It was like drawn on the cover. It looked like that, and they've actually still kept the font from the cover to the disc, which looks nice. If you look very faintly, it's very faint. It's not very bright at all, but there is kind of like an X going across the CD, which is actually from the cover. When you looked at the cover, there were lights going either way, which to like represent an X. And they've actually done the same on this one, but although it is very faint and you can't see it very well, but I do very much like this. I think it looks very nice. And of course down the bottom we have CD1. Now let's have a look at CD2. Here is CD2, again, same as last disc. We've still got the title at the top, Now 100 Hits 90s number ones. We've still got that very faint X on this one. It's a little bit more visible on this one, but I do quite like it. I think it works quite well, and just overall I love the background and the colours they've used on the discs look nice. And of course down the bottom we have CD2. Moving on now to CD3. This here is CD3. Again, we've got the same colour background with the X on the background. We've got the grey background from the last two discs, which I do quite like. I like how they've used it, of course, with the blue font which is actually on the cover as well, and the blue colour that they've used for the font. It looks very nice. And of course we've got number one scrawled on like there, like we did with the rest of the discs. And down the bottom we have CD3. Now let's have a look at CD4. So this is CD4. I really like it. Again, we've got the same as the last couple of discs. It would have been nice for there to be some kind of other colour, some kind of change from each disc, but I suppose it is still quite nice to have the grey colour with the blue. It works quite well. We've got the text at the top, Now 100 Hits 90s number ones, the same as last disc, and we've still got the X on there, and down the bottom it says CD4. Now let's move on to CD5. So this is CD5. Of course we've still got the X, we've still got the grey background, and still got the same colour font and text at the top. It looks exactly the same as last disc. The only difference with this one is CD5. As I said with the rest of the discs, I really do like the colour they've used, and the colours work quite well together, but it would have been quite nice to have something else on there that maybe like a couple of music logos or something that represents 90s a bit more than just having the actual title at the top with the X on the background. But overall I still quite like the disc artwork. Now let's move on to the track list. So the track list is on full on the back. We've got 5 CDs. We've got disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4 and disc 5. But when you open up the album you actually can see the full track list for each individual disc. So here you've got disc 1 and then you open it up and you can see each individual disc's track list. So I'm going to go through the songs that feature on this album. Of course it's a 5 disc album, and I'll start off here with CD 1. So starting off CD 1 with Jesus to a Child by George Michael. We have Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis, Say You'll Be There by Spice Girls, Baby One More Time by Britney Spears, Millennium by Robbie Williams, Never Ever by All Saints, Love Is All Around by Wet Wet Wet, Dreams by Gabrielle, Wanna Be the Only One by Eternal, Would I Lie to You by Charles and Eddie, I Can't Help Falling in Love with You by UB40, Boombastic by Shaggy, Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, Boom Shake the Room by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Twist and Shout by Chaka Dermis, and ending the first disc we have It's Like That by Run DMC. And moving on to the second disc, and we start off with Saturday Night by Wigfield, and we have Just a Little Bit by Gina G, Mambo No. 5 by Lou Bega, Young at Heart by the Bluebells, the Snoop Soup song by Cher, Things Can Only Get Better by Dream, you've got Blue by Eiffel 65, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini by Timmy Mallet, Dr. Jones by Aqua, Breakfast at Tiffany's by Deep Blue Something, Because We Want To by Billy, Any Dream Will Do by Jason Donovan, No Matter What by Boyzone, and ending disc 2 we have Keep On Moving by Five. Moving on to disc 3, and we start off with Professional Widow by Tori Amos, and we have Praise You by Fatboy Slim, The Real Thing by Tony D. Bart, You Don't Know Me by Armada Van Helden, You're Not Alone by Olive, Please Don't Go by KWS, Dreamer by Living Joy, Tragedy by Steps, Your Woman by Whitetown, and ending disc 3 we have Boom 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 by the Out Here Brothers. And starting off disc 4 we have Healing Hands by Elton John, you've got Fly Without Wings by Westlife, Heartbeat by Steps, Roller Coaster by Bewitched, Turtle Power by Partners in Crime, Dizzy by Vic Reeves, Barbie Girl by Aqua, Girlfriend by Billy, Flavor by Peter Andre, and ending disc 4 we have Sadness Part 1 by Egmana. And starting off disc 5 we have Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash, we've got Fly by U2, you've got If You Tolerate This Your Children Will Be Next by Manic Street Preachers, you've got Return of the Mac by Mark Morrison, Spaceman by Babylon Zoo, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, When You Say Nothing at All by Ronan Keating, If I Let You Go by Westlife, Stay by Shakespeare's Sisters, She's the Only One by Robbie Williams, and ending disc 5 we have I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. So that's the songs off of this album. Of course the album has 100 songs, and I just pointed out a couple of songs from this album. I do very much like the tracklist. I think the tracklist features some of the absolute best number ones from the 90s. There are a couple of songs on there that I wasn't really expecting to be on there, and there are a couple of songs that were actually missed off that did get to number 1 and definitely deserve to be on here. But overall I do like this tracklist, and I think it does actually feature some of the really best number 1 songs of the 90s. If you'd like to get this album you can do, you can get it in supermarkets, you can also get it online like Amazon, HMV online and Zoom, and of course you should be able to get it into HMV stores when they reopen soon. I definitely recommend this album if you're deciding whether to get it or not. I think this album is great. If you're a fan of 90s music you'll probably like this, and if you like the tracklist I would definitely recommend getting this album. So guys, that is the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please make sure you give it a massive thumbs up, really massively appreciated if you do. Also make sure you subscribe, enable notifications to be notified every time I release a new video, and make sure you follow my Instagram, my Twitter and my Snapchat. That'll be just aside right there, and links on my social medias will be in the description down below. Make sure to follow up on all of them. And guys, I'll see you soon for another YouTube video.